from the Ukrainian Air Force, the Su-27P1M, the flanker. Tactical Aviation Brigade of the Ukrainian Air Force, stationed near RIAT. In the late 80s, we had a number of people there looking at the aircraft, see if whether or not we could elicit any of the data from its performance. And in particular, all you need is a stopwatch just to see how long it takes to turn through 360 degrees. And I just timed that 360 degree turn. It took 16 seconds. We knew immediately that this was not the aircraft to mess around with in the visual environment. The aircraft started entering service with the Soviet Air Forces in 1985. A couple of years later, West Blackberry one got up close to a Royal Norwegian Air Force P-3 Orion maritime reconnaissance aircraft. Too close, two came together. The damaged propeller from the Orion, which managed to land safely, is still on display at their base as something of memory. Post-Soviet world, the original Su-27 was carried on equipping customers, but Sukhoi has continued to develop the design for Russia and elsewhere. Some of the more modern flankers, that's the NATO reporting names, now have thrust vectoring for absolutely a heavy fighter, isn't it? And it looks it, despite the fact that it can display unexpected manoeuvrability perhaps for its size. Yeah, this is an enormous aircraft. When you consider its max takeoff weight is 72,000 pounds, and if you compare that with the F-16 at 42,000 pounds, you can see that it is almost twice the weight, twice the mass of that aircraft. Also in terms of size as well, this has a 15-metre wingspan, where compared to the Typhoon at 10 metres, this aircraft is 50% larger. impressive. And what you need to remember is the aircraft was designed to go forward, so its strength is in that lateral direction. And of course, as it's sliding backwards, all of the controls are working in the opposite sense, a bit like reversing the car, if you like. But one of the things that we were very concerned about in the early days was because of the size of the aircraft, the perception of the energy and the speed that the aircraft was doing in air-to-air combat could have been something that fooled us. So we did a lot of training against a similar-sized aircraft, namely the United States Air Force F-15. And still, we have never seen like from conventional non-thrust vectoring Western aircraft. Really good performance here, Mark, on the part of the two Lyulka or now Saturn AL-31F turbofan engines. Yes, this is not just an aerodynamic feat. You've got to bear in mind these engines are sucking in 107 Su-27, and they carried on serving in the same roles they carried on the Soviet. Most of Ukraine's current force of flankers are based at Mirgorod, where this aircraft comes from, which is in central Ukraine. There's another smaller squadron of Su-27s at Obserna in the north. They tell that this one has recently been upgraded because when Su-27s and other Ukrainian Air Force aircraft undergo a general overhaul, they receive a new camouflage pattern, this so-called pixelated scheme, which is applied in blue on the Su-27s. This is a Su-27P1M variant, which indicates that it's a former Su-27P, as would originally have been delivered to the Soviet Air Defense Force, the PDO. And there's the aircraft at the slow with the very large dorsal air brake extended in exactly the same position as that fitted to the F-15. So you can see where some of the lineage of this aircraft came, the ideas, the inspiration. That upgrade adds a satellite navigation system, a new instrument landing system, and crucially a new transponder which allows international operations under widely established regulations. And that's important because the Ukrainian Air Force has increasingly been aligning itself with Western air arms in recent years. The first upgrade jet was handed over in March 2012, and the work was done locally at the Zaporozhye State Air Repair Plant. The first upgraded aircraft was accepted for service in August 2014. And the following year, the Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko flew in one of the upgraded two-seat flankers. standard armament on the Ukrainian Su-27s today, still as was carried in Cold War times. The medium-range R-27 and short-range R-73 air-to-air missiles, a maximum of 10 in all, plus the internal 30mm cannon. The aircraft can also practice close air support missions, though they don't have air-to-ground weapons. Today, as it was last year, by Colonel Alexander Oksanchenko. He's been the flanker display pilot for Ukraine since 2011, and he's got about 1,050. We see a bit of aerodynamic braking there, compressing the air in front of it, the large air brake, and we're just about to see two brake parachutes come out of the back of the aircraft. No thrust reverse, just enormously powerful brakes on this aircraft, and its landing weight, almost empty weight, is the same as the max takeoff weight of the F-16 as we see it roll past us now. Very impressive to see, as ever, from the 831st Guards Tactical Aviation Brigade of the Ukrainian Air Force, the Su-27P1M.
That are not familiar, if you look to the two orange pyramid markers in the middle of the runway, that's the crowd centre. We'll be talking about that a lot. Out in the distance, running away to the far horizon, is the B axis. If you look at this far distance now, you'll soon start to see the landing lamps of the Chinook as it runs in. The Chinook's most at home in the low-level environment, usually skirting around trees.